in order for transformation to work, you need to build a certain momentum, a certain kind of mass. If you have been stuck in a kind of like a swamp kind of space where you like it's mostly low drama, this kind of like being stuck for a long time, and actually this is mainly what you know, there is a process of getting unstuck. There is a process of changing things around, and it doesn't come right away. There is like surgeries that need to happen, processes, and it's a process where essentially you are working towards inverting the polarity of your orientation towards life, and creating a mass, a kind of mass, like it really, like you experience it as a mass where most of your life has been governed by this kind of mass of essentially being a victim, being someone who doesn't have the things that it takes to get somewhere or to do something or to create something. And then little by little you start kind of like creating another garden or feeding another part of yourself that has been malnourished, that has been starved, and you start feeding that part, growing that garden, cultivating that space, caring for that space, and actually growing, regrowing an ecosystem that was collapsed. It was an ecosystem that had been taken over by weeds. For example, when a garden gets taken over by weeds, it's all over the space, and it actually takes work from your part, and conscious intention to go there. And what do you want in your garden? Do you want it to be like wild, just like all the weeds taken over, jungle, which there is a value in spaces like that. And if what you want is you're like a caring for the garden that was given to you, which is your body, your life, this time that you have on earth, then it really takes that, like growing out of the neglect that you have been uh, carrying for the last years, I don't know for how long. It might be since you were born, or it might have been since adulthood, or something bad, like something happened in your life where it created this kind of depression. For me, it happened when I became a father. When I became a father, everything was like awesome, and I started, yeah, becoming more of that father. But shortly after, the life as I expected it to be was not the same. I started getting these father triggers. I don't know what you call them, but I started like sounding like my dad, even though I didn't want to be like my dad. I started being and all of this old stuff that I didn't know was there started getting triggered. And little by little, I started getting into like really deep depressions, where I was either numbing a lot with smoking cannabis and tobacco, sometimes drinking alcohol, sometimes doing hallucinogenic medicines and calling it like medicine journeys. But essentially, like a lot of escaping. Like I was not engaging with the problem. I was not engaging with life. I was resentful, kind of like turning around, facing this way, and not wanting to see, engage with the problem, or engage with the challenge that I was being faced. And I say like, life is not like this. I don't want life to be like this. And I was essentially in a denial. So that kept perpetuating, and even like digging deeper that hole where I was in. And it was solidifying patterns, because it was chronic. I had no support, no network support, and no family around me, no stable way of making money. So when I'm telling you this, I'm telling you because I'm coming from the shed, like really being dug up down in a deep hole of being in major scarcity, major like financial zero, like being in zero state, um, being homeless, being someone who cannot interact with others because who cannot sustain a job, cannot sustain a place to live. So I am there. In some ways, I'm still digging my way out, and the longer you postpone it, the more it is going to be a challenge to come out of there. It's like a kind of neglect that you say is life speaking to you. If you're not engaging with the reality of life, it gets you into that hole. So in some ways, I've been, yeah, climbing up, letting some things die that need to die, and also just like shifting that energy to engaging with the thing that's there, and then it's been this process of, okay, what is the thing that, like, how can I gain this mass so that actually, like, when there is some shit happening anywhere, outside of myself, that it doesn't affect me in the same way that before. That before it could be that I send a message to somebody and I get a response that is negative, and then it will flip my world. I will go into this like, "Ooh, the whole world starts flipping under me," and then it's like everything is up in the air, like all of the plans that I had, the expectations, the ideas, the projects, everything is up in the air. There's no ground, there's just falling, and this could happen for days. This could be happening for like this emotional turmoil where you're like, ugh, contracted, and it could be happening for days, even weeks, even months. It could be your natural state of being, the your normal, your habitual state of being. But this is actually called low drama. This state is it's a way of avoiding responsibility. It's a way of not engaging with life. Again, it's a state of turning away from life, and modern culture tells us that it just happens to you. And this is the biggest lie, the biggest thing that I've had, that you need to confront. That you need to confront that you are the one that is sourcing that. And I've been in denial for this for a long time, but it needs to be you who confront that and say and be real about how it is you who are sourcing that state. It's not life. It's not that message that didn't get you the approval that you needed. It's not that your partner is not supportive of you. It's not that the government is a piece of shit. It's not that the system is designed to oppress you. It is you who are at source of these emotional states and how you are handling them. And yes, it might be that you are still dragging these things up from your childhood, these decisions and strategies that you created when you were a child, and you drag them because they have worked for you to survive in the system, and so far it's worked. Okay, so you are here, you're an adult now, you're 30, you're 40, you're 50, and you're still doing the same shit that you decided when you were a kid, which worked, but now you're an adult, and I'm gonna guess that it's not working anymore. So in this part, as you're like creating this shift and wanting to shift out of the strategies of what you have been creating into actually a life where you're living, you start building up this mass into something else, into actually, what am I calling it? It's like a different context. It's a different context that is not the context where the other stuff got created. Because the other stuff got created in childhood, in a child state kind of space where you can blame mommy and daddy for something, or you can blame somebody else, where you can where you needed somebody else to survive. where you needed that person to actually make it through life. Now, as an adult, the path is to start learning how to take care of yourself. So you start learning how to take care of yourself by taking on these steps. Like, how am I not taking care of myself? How am I? I'm gonna use you. How are you delegating the care for you to others? How are you implicitly and unconsciously asking other people to take care of you? These are the observation. This is the lens, and there will be a lot of like digging through a maze of stuff. Like this is like plants and like brambles, and you dig through all of that, because there is some of it that's going to be your identity, what you're identified with, what you are, uh, what you think of yourself about. And it's also going to be this, yeah, this like, okay, like this is actually stuff that I decided in childhood, and I've been identifying with this, and I can actually see it now, and I can say thank you for helping me survive, for getting me here, and I don't need to keep doing that anymore. This is actually something that I don't identify anymore with, and you can move on, you can clear out your space. And you start doing this towards taking care of yourself to the point where you can stand in the world and learn and be able to take care of yourself, where you can say, I am sourcing this. I am the source of my care. I am not delegating I'm not delegating my care to somebody else unconsciously. It doesn't mean that you're gonna be independent, completely independent, and it's just you. Is that you are taking care of yourself. You are asking questions. You are in a collaboration with life and with others to take care of yourself. And this is what's going to start building up this mass in your garden, where you can say, this is my garden and I'm taking care of it. It's delightful. It's so fun. And this is like what my parents, I didn't learn this from my parents or something. It's like being an adult equaled a burden. Being an adult equal only obligations, that you did not get to live your life, you did not get to have fun. It was just money, obligations. I have to do this, sacrifice, so much sacrifice, compromise. I cannot live my life uh, and be a father or be an adult. So we grow up with this like, fuck, I do not want to be an adult. That's shit's like insane. Of course it is insane, but we don't have the adults who are standing in their adulthood in a way that is fun, in a way that is ecstatic. And these are adults who are not just like drinking and like going, like getting drunk and smoking up, getting stoned and doing drugs and listening to the cool people. But these actual adults who are taking care of themselves, adults who, uh, yeah, they have a certain capacity for holding this something else that is like, where the fuck do they, like, how do they get the energy for doing this stuff? Or there's, yeah, like how, like respect. They invoke this respect for not just adulthood, but for people, for being a human being. They invoke this respect for life, invoke this respect for nature, for caring of oneself without burning oneself out, without sacrificing, without having to kill yourself or kill another to be alive. And this is the invitation, and this is the beginning of building up your mass in caring for yourself. And you're gonna reach a point where you start getting more trust in yourself. Like, I trust myself that I can do this thing. I trust myself that I can take care of these things for myself. And it starts growing, and it growing to the point where you can start taking care of more things than just yourself. And in an old map, it will be going into like burnout, like, oh, like obligation, like I have all of this capacity to take care of myself and others, but I'm doing it out of obligation, and it's not real adulthood. It's more like pretend adulthood, or a kind of, it looks like adulthood, but there is still something that is off. It's not really this adult who is blossoming in life. And the way that, just this last thing to close, is that the way that things work in childhood are very different than the way that things work in adulthood. It's like two completely different paradigms. Is This is why people talk about it like the caterpillar and the moth or the butterfly. This is like the caterpillar is your childhood, or is this state where you're still crawling, you're still a terrestrial being, you're still moving, you're eating caterpillar food, and it reaches a point where that like you go into the cocoon, into the cocoon, I think that's what it's called, and you go through this process of liquefying yourself, like where it dies, the caterpillar dies, it disintegrates, it becomes watery, liquidy, gooey shit inside of this thing, and it starts moving and shaping and transforming into something else. And then not every caterpillar that goes through this survives. A lot of them, they die, they don't go through it, they get eaten, etc. And so the ones that do make it through this transformation process, they become a butterfly, and it's completely different world. It becomes a butterfly, and now it's no longer the rules, the laws that govern that caterpillar are no longer applicable. It works, the dynamic, the body is different, the field is completely different for a butterfly than for a caterpillar. The food is completely different. So it's like that. A lot of people are going towards adulthood, and it's like, I'm going towards adulthood, and they still carrying on so much of the expectations. They think they know, and I'm to blame for this too. We think we know where we are going, but we're still carrying on expectations from the caterpillar phase, from the childhood. And this is actually things that block us and that stop us from going through the full-on transformation of entering into a completely new world that is waiting there for us, that we don't know yet about. So this is the things that are coming up about gaining mass. Once you gain that mass, the transformation happens and you start flying. There is like, you gain enough momentum that flying is just the thing that is possible. People in the street, you can no longer get hooked to that. They no longer get your attention, get your energy, and pull you down, because that's not what's happening. That's not what's available. That's not where you want to use your energy. That's not even what's available for you to use your energy. Something happened, somebody screams at you, you fat guy, pineapple face, you should be not living, whatever. And that does not, like, it's not that you don't hear it, but it doesn't affect you like it affected you before, where you're like, oh my god, I'm in danger, I should consider why am I alive, and taking that personally, and all of the emotional roller coaster, and again, like, it's like flying, falling back down. Different, very different approach. And then what are these steps that you can take towards taking care of yourself more radically, in every sense, in every sense, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, and yeah, in all of these parts. How can you take care more of yourself? And then what are the steps that you need to build that mass? Which, taking care of yourself is part of building that mass, but then there's this other mass, which is like creating, like starting engaging with life and engaging with the challenge that life is presenting for you. So that was me for today. I hope you enjoy this and go building up that mass and becoming that life force, that force of nature that can create a major impact in life and can create the thing that you came here to create. And whatever people are gonna say, they are gonna say it. Just go for it. Don't let what other people are gonna say stop you, because that will mean that will stop you from creating the thing that you want to create. And it was like, okay, back again. Uh, Bye for now.